change my ways. So blessed with it, what can I say? Top form staying in shape.
You wanna try to beat the force, I wanna try to defeat the law. You wanna be with me, of course. Show you look a piece, wanna see some more, see some more, see some more, see some more.
It's week 1 of the National Football League, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Commanders and the Buccaneers. All that and more coming up next.
Well, it wouldn't be Florida without this. A heavy tropical rainstorm coming down just prior to kickoff here in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. With my good friend Charles Davis in the booth, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and the moment has finally arrived, CD. It's time to begin a new NFL season.
Partner, there's no hiding my excitement as I got ready this morning. I could not wait to get here for this game.
Certainly happy to have you along. Chase McLaughlin has it on the tee, and off we go here in Tampa. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So the Commanders make their way out on offense for the first time here, and it's the rookie Jayden Daniels, the number 2 overall pick, leading the way.
And he was the number 2 overall pick in the draft because he is special. A dual-threat athlete at the quarterback position, beats you with his arm and his legs, and runs the ball better than any quarterback since maybe Lamar Jackson came out of Louisville. But with that being said, he's got to be smart about how he runs the football. He puts himself in position to take some big shots. He's got to be on the field and available for him and his team to be successful.
Oh, the first play of the game going to be intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. I'm not sure that you can say that the rain caused that interception, but look, it's clear that throwing the football is going to be tough in these conditions.
No doubt about it, and different quarterbacks handle it different ways. Some guys think the rain isn't a big deal, but wind affects them a little bit more. But you have to wonder, will these conditions hold scoring down? Are we going to have like a 9-6 type of a game? And then the pressure goes on the punters, who often hold for field goal attempts. Can they handle the snap and get the ball down so they can kick it?
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Baker going to give it to Irving. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6. Now Mayfield. He'll dump this one off here to White. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2.
One down, only about 500 more to go this season. He would certainly welcome most of his passes this year going as well as that. Now that the first one is over, time to settle into a groove and begin the long journey towards Week 18 and hopefully the playoffs.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with White. And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, a new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Mayfield now. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And the Buccaneers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
But they've certainly not shied away from throwing the football as they've leaned on their quarterback to start this game. 4 straight passes right out of the gate, with that last one earning them a new set of downs.
First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. Irving is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back at the 2 now. Here's second and goal. Mayfield escaping the pressure right. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bucs are on the board here first in the season opener. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And running with power here. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. Not the start that they were hoping for. The interception on the first play of the game. It leads to 6 points the other way. How do you rebound from here?
Yeah, a little bit of humor. Got to laugh that one off, and not the ha-ha, that was very funny, but kind of like, can you believe that just happened? Let's go out and play now. Let's just start over.
It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down.
But one of the things we talked about coming into this was we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and first downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
First carry of the game for Brian Robinson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. So here's a 3rd and 14. Throwing now is Daniels. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and he did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Tampa Bay, they're getting ready to set up shop here for their second drive. Perfect start to the season on their first drive last time out, able to find the end zone. Now we'll see if they can make it 2 for 2 here in week 1. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, Mayfield. He'll find McMillan here. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Throwing, Mayfield. And that's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And Godwin going to have a Bucs first down as he'll get this up to midfield. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Godwin with a nice grab there, and he's been a consistent weapon for this Buccaneers offense, although a bit unheralded. He's eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark for each of his last 3 seasons, and his ability to make plays on all 3 levels is invaluable for not just his franchise, but his quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Here's 2nd and 10. The slot man in motion right. They defer to White out of the shotgun. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Mayfield looks to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback.
And a Washington offense heading out.
Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. Play action. Now it's Daniels. Man open. That's Deebo Samuel. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. A gain of 14. First down, Commanders.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection.
Now Daniels.
And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Washington with the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson.
And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And all the way down to the 22-yard line.
Big yardage that time for Washington. 44 yards.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
To the air goes Daniels.
He's going to find his running back. It's complete. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
To the sideline and incomplete.
But you know you don't want to make a mistake in that area, so you make sure you make a smart throw. Throw it out towards the sidelines. If you overshoot your guy, so be it. It's just the incompletion that we saw there.
Daniels looking to throw. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he's going to have a Commander's first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I think everyone in the stadium saw that big hit coming.
And I, as a former defensive back, have to admit I'm a little disappointed. He actually was able to hold on to the ball. He brought the lumber on that play. Give my man a whole lot of credit for taking the hit and possessing the football.
And picking up the first down.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounding, but it's 2nd down. straight ahead. It's Robinson.
And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield of man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
And Gay knocks this one through.
So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Tampa Bay offense set to go again. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Now Mayfield and the Bucs come up on 1st and 10
right at the 30. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer.
While the medical staff checks on him, we'll step aside in this Week 1 contest. On 1st and 10, here's Irving.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Boy, a dangerous throw there. Fortunate for him, it'll wind up incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
They go play action. Mayfield.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have the Bucs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A run up the middle with Irving.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 4.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Mayfield to throw it. And his throw is incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
On 3rd down, they go with Irving.
And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
They'll stay on the ground with Irving.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I think that run gives us evidence that the defense is getting a little bit tired out there. They've been out in the field for a long time, and that last run, they just cut right through them.
Here's Mayfield. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after.
And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Rachaad White, a 3-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to extend their lead. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Washington offense set to take over. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Here's Daniels. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. To throw is Daniels. Yeah, to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. Back to throw. Daniels. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
And Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect, and he executed so well.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
So that time they get the tight end on the hold.
Normally he's a pretty good run blocker, but this time he just didn't get his arms extended and let go quickly enough. The flag came out as a result.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Flushed out right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far at 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. To throw, Mayfield. His throw incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Point it right. What's that?
Now back to throw. Airing this one out for Evans. And got his man complete. Down the right sideline. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Mike
Mike Evans. 89 yards. And the Buccaneers are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And the lead is up to 15 now. Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Still going past the 30. And he gets this all the way down to the 20. What a return. Almost broke it for 6.
And that's the type of return that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense now. They've got to go out on the field almost like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. They've got to go out there and try and stop them. But, boy, what a tough spot they're in.
From the shotgun, it's Daniels. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Well, Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Well, they go play action. Daniels. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, 30 yards. And the Commanders get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes, because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll cut the lead to 21-17. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Bucs offense and veteran receiver Mike Evans headed back onto the field. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much here. Now Mayfield. And a catch right side by Evans. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. That catch, by the way, kind of noteworthy. It's number 764 in his career. Ties him with Hall of Famer James Lofton.
And he's done it just as James Lofton did in his career. Smooth.
Mayfield. Airing this one out for Evans. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Mayfield now. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. And this kick will be touchdown as they spot it inside the 45-yard line. Well, look around the NFL. We'll have to wait for postgame, because we are moving right through halftime and on to the 3rd quarter.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. Well, you always hate to see injuries, especially tough here in week one. Just hoping this is nothing serious. We'll take a quick timeout. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the look at right side, and it's intercepted. And he's going to get this on down to the 13-yard line. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new...
And he takes it in for a Commanders touchdown. Terry McLaurin. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Commanders take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Daniel's going to try and throw for it. And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
A third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to, I don't like to chase a lot of points, but I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. The last drive for this offense, Charles, you remember it ended in 1 play, that quick interception, but they do still have the lead as they start this drive here.
And that's something to focus on for them as well, because it's not quite no harm, no foul, but the interception, hey, shake it off, move on. Hasn't cost your team the lead, and now it's time to rebound, and the quarterback and his teammates, they can add to the lead with a good drive here.
From the 25 on second down, Mayfield. Oh, I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Partner, for once in my life, I'll be succinct. In a one-possession game, every single stop like that could be a difference maker.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. This is White on the screen. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. A strong 8. Keep this drive rolling.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards. Straight ahead, it's Irving. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
He'll find McMillan here. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 40. They run out of the gun with Irving. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Mayfield looks to throw. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And that is incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
They're looking for Godwin, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Will Harris. And the Commanders are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. So this offense moving the ball well, trying to open up a 2-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. But now potentially a play that could have big ramifications.
Yeah, you've driven the ball down the field. Things are looking up, but it takes just one bad decision to throw things off the rails.
Flush to his right. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on 1st down. But give them credit, they recovered in time to deny him the 1st down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short, so that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime means had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the 1st level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level. To me, this is a case of if you're not getting the ball, you've got to do your job and block for the guy who is, because there really wasn't much there. And, boy, the defense took advantage without loss.
And the defense, they were just locked in there on 3rd. They had more guys than they could block. So out come the Bucs now.
Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting 1st downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 9. They run straight ahead here with White. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive.
Now 3rd down and 7.
Throwing, Mayfield. And Mayfield again with the interception, his 3rd. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
Boy, Charles, that is now 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive drives, and you can see he's just got a look of disgust and bad body language, understandably, as he walks off the field.
And I think it comes from the fact that he's not sure what he sees down the field, Brandon. I don't know if he's seeing ghosts. I don't know if he just can't read defenses. I'm not sure what it is, but that's why he's frustrated. Think about the defense right now. Every time they run on the field, they've gone from hoping to intercept the pass to expecting to intercept passes. Their confidence at an all-time high right now.
And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. Final minute now of the 3rd quarter.